Hi everyone, and welcome to this conversation live on Facebook with my dear friend Leila Andersson, who is a soulbiz coach and a healing coach, and she's based in Sweden. We've had a few conversations before, and today the topic is next level. So my name is Karina Ladet. I'm a business mentor for intuitives and creatives, mainly women, and I thought it would be really interesting and hopefully helpful to have this conversation because I'm launching a brand new program called the Next Level Program. And so this topic has been coming up, as it does, everywhere in my life, everywhere in my business, and same thing for my clients and my friends. So hi Leila, it's so great to have you. Welcome.
Thank you. It's so much fun to be back doing lives with you and doing this with you. I've missed our space together, so I'm so happy to be here. And Next Level, oh my god, I love that. I love the name. I love the concept. I was like, when you launched it, I'm like, whoa, I love it. It's yeah, amazing.
Thank you so much. It's so interesting, isn't it? Because I feel like it's not like there's just one next level. It's like a constant thing that we go through over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I feel, at least like sometimes when I feel like that's it, I'm at my max capacity of what I can do and what I'm here to do. And then inevitably there's always going to be something else after that. So I would love to know, because I feel like since we've known each other for the last few years or so, you've made some really huge big leaps in your business, and I feel like it's really visible online, and I can tell when I see you, and just in all parts, I guess, of your business that I've had the privilege to see. And I would love to know, like, maybe if you can share one next level leap that you've taken recently, and what that was like for you, and what came up for you, and how you moved through it.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, we've been following each other for a while. And our history goes back a long time, so I'm not going to get into that. But one thing I do want to say, because it has to do with my next level leaps, one thing I want to say is this, that a few years ago, I contacted you because I wanted a business coach, and you were my business coach for a while. And that was one leap for me. And the biggest, and I cannot emphasize this enough, the biggest leap I've ever taken for my business has been taking or enlisting or hiring business coaches. That's because you cannot, and I will emphasize it again, you cannot do it alone. You cannot do it without someone who has done it, or without someone who is a few steps ahead of you, who can help you. So you were the first business coach I hired, and that was amazing. And then I've hired a few others, and so the biggest leap for me in my business has been hiring business coaches, has been being in mentor programs and masterminds, and being part of groups of people who are walking the same path in their business. And so I've gone from being, I'm going to put it like this, the biggest leap, let's say the past year. The biggest leap for me the past year has been, with the help of mentors and coaches, has been shifting my business from being I'm a coach, I'm a healing coach and self-work mentor, and also a soul business mentor. But the biggest leap for me, mentally but also externally, has been shifting from being a coach, being a healer, being someone who has a coaching practice or a healing practice, to someone who actually has a coaching business, a healing business. So I'm not just, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being a healer and having a healing practice, or a coach having a coaching practice. Nothing wrong with that. That's probably where we all start. Or if you're a therapist, and having a therapy practice. But the biggest leap and the biggest upscale, or thing that has made me scale up, is this mindset shift of going from having a practice to having a business. If you get what I mean with that. So not just being someone who receives people for hourly sessions or whatever it may be, to being someone who actually has a business and has a plan, a plan, longer plan than just like weekly or monthly or yearly. So yeah, that is the biggest leap, I think. Yeah.
I love that. And yeah, I love that, because that's the thing that I found the hardest when it has come to like taking next leaps in my business is that shift in identity, like who we are as a healer or as an intuitive or as a yoga teacher or creative. And it's like we need to embody a new identity that is also us, but like a different aspect of us, I guess, more like the visionary or the leader and the businesswoman. And it brings up so much stuff, because I find that although it can be confronting and challenging to be a healer or a therapist or a yoga teacher, there are like a whole new set of challenges that come up when we step into being business owners, because then it's more about leadership, stepping into our power, saying no to things, not always trying to be as nice as possible, but to really be true to our path and our calling. And it can be really triggering, both for us and I think for people around us. And it's such a big shift in who we are, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And the next level here is actually asking the question, who do I have to become to have a business, not just a practice? Who do I have to become to have a company, a coaching company or a yoga teacher company, and not just being a yoga teacher? Again, nothing wrong with it's not just being a yoga teacher, but there's a different, the consciousness is kind of different. The level is just different from being a yoga teacher, having your classes, and being a yoga teacher and having a yoga company or business. So it's kind of asking the question, okay, so if I want to go from here to there, who do I need to become? And you probably need to become someone you've never been before. And just like you said, it's going to bring up a lot of shit, a lot of stuff. It's going to bring up a lot of stuff. And it doesn't matter if you want to go from, if we're talking about it in a business context, but whatever you want to do in life, if you want to reach any kind of goal or scale in any kind of way in life, you need to become someone you haven't been before. And that's scary. It's going to bring up stuff. And for me, one of the biggest things that I've had to face off with is this thing that I think many, especially women, men also, of course, encounter, and it's imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome, and who am I to? Oh, who am I to do this? And do I know enough? Or who am I to? And so that the ghost of the imposter, that's like kind of one of the biggest things that I've had to face off with, and all kinds of fears around that, all kinds of fears. Can I really do this? And do I have it in me? And can I help all these people? And fears.
So many. Yeah, that's a huge one. I think so many women struggle with that, the imposter system. Like, do I really have what it takes? And also I think because we need to grow into certain things, and I feel that I'm often teaching things that I'm still learning as well. And so I'm always like, what? This isn't really my strength. Am I supposed to teach this? But I feel like often it's when we're on the edge of that, like that thing that we find challenging as well, and the stuff that we struggle with too, that's what we need to teach, not just the stuff that we've nailed and maybe gotten through a long time ago, but like that stuff that we're still like, wow, I'm not sure I'm doing this well enough to like teach it, but still we're usually a few steps ahead of our soul clients or ideal clients for that. And that can bring up a lot of stuff, and the leaving behind, I feel like, because it's not so much about maybe embracing the new stuff, although that can be hard. It's also about what do we leave behind? Like, so that means there are certain things I can't do anymore. I can't do them in that way. Like when we start to manage our time better and we show up more fully, but there are things we can't do anymore and we have to say no and like disappoint people, or I don't know, like be more faithful, I guess, to who we are and who we're becoming rather than who we've been up until then, which can be really hard.
Definitely. And I love that you mentioned that, because that's something that comes up in my work all the time. When we work, and you and I, we work with similar people. When we work with yoga teachers or healers or coaches or therapists or whatever they may be, especially people who come from a background of having a lot of classes and sessions, healing sessions, and the thing we might encounter first is the fact that we need to choose less things, because maybe we don't have time to have 20 classes a week, or maybe we cannot have 10 sessions every day with clients. 10 sessions is a lot, and 20 classes is a lot, so I'm exaggerating a little bit. But one thing that I really had to leave behind when I went into in this leap, and when I took these steps, was I had to leave behind my yoga classes, because I was spreading myself too thin. I was doing too many different things. I was doing too much. So I had to leave behind my yoga classes. I had to leave behind a lot of different like ceremonies, because I was spreading myself too thin. So I had to choose a few things, like just a few things that felt really aligned, and do them really well, instead of doing like 15 things. Even if you love it, I love teaching yoga, I love yoga, I love it, but and it's sad to leave it behind. It might feel really sad to leave it behind, but if you want to take that leap, you kind of have to. While you scale your business up and take the business leap, you need to scale down on all the things you're doing. Because when we are yoga teachers, many of the people you and I work with, they do different things. They're not just only yoga teachers. They're probably yoga teachers and Reiki healers, or Reiki healers and I don't know, I'm just making massage therapist. They often do many different things, so they spread themselves too thin. You need to choose. Do I want to be mainly online, or do I want to do things in person? Or so you need to choose and do a few things really well, instead of trying to do it all for everyone, right? So
and that's such a tricky one for creatives and multi-passionates, I find, because choosing can feel a bit like dying, like what? I have to leave one of my babies behind. And I often tell people to like leave it, put it to the side for now, and just focus on what really lights you up now. It doesn't mean you always have to do that, but it means you have to focus your energy, because like you said, I think we're so used to just being everywhere and being everything to everyone, and that is not a great way to grow our business, because we need to actually narrow down and maybe do less, but with more intention, a bigger impact, so that we can grow in that way. And sometimes it means saying no to things that we enjoy, but that aren't maybe exactly what we're meant to do in that moment. And that can be definitely challenging.
It's that classic, if it's not a hell yes, then don't. And it's like you said, you can always, like, if you feel afraid of choosing 2 or 3 things to do and focus on, and you feel like, oh, I don't want to leave my other babies behind, just make a choice. You can change your mind next week. It's not the end of the world if you happen to choose the wrong thing. You can choose again next week in that case. So, but you just have to choose and see what happens if you actually do choose, and see what that brings. So it's not that serious either. You don't have to be afraid of choosing, because you can always change your mind.
Yeah, and it's not like it's a forever choice either. And the things is, we're going to keep growing, and we're probably not going to do exactly the same thing a year from now or 5 years from now. And that is also the natural evolution of our businesses and of us. Exactly. I would love to know, because there's a lot of like the stuff that we leave behind and the difficulties I find that are tricky with the next level stuff, but like, what have been the biggest benefits for you? Like, what has made it worth it to go through all the stuff?
The thing that has made it so worth it is that I have found the right people are finding me, and I'm finding the right people to work with. So the people I work with are really my soul people. And I, quite honestly, business is always business. You're always going to be busy, and sometimes you're going to pull your hair. Let's not sugarcoat it. All business is always business. But for the most part, the people I work with and the relationships I create with my clients, they are really, really my soul people. And we create such amazing relationships. And I mean, when I wake up in the morning and I sit down by the computer, because one of the biggest shifts for me has also been that I've moved everything online. When I sit down by the computer and I close my eyes and I'm like, is this really I'm going to have a conversation now with a person that feels like family. Is this really my work? Is this my work? This is my work. And it's really amazing to have that feeling. And of course, sometimes you don't have that feeling because business is business. I can't say for every task I have in my business that I have that feeling. But when it comes to my clients and the people in my business, it's just mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. Yeah.
I love that, because that's the thing, is the relationships that we have and how we kind of narrow it down so that they're just like our people, and there's no like trying to adapt to something or trying to show up for someone who may not be our ideal client. We may not be their ideal mentor either. I think that's amazing. I found that for me, I feel like I work less and I have a big, like everything else is more. I feel like the more I've embraced like structure and doing things in a more like professional way, I feel like I work less and I'm more focused, and I know what to do. I'm not constantly like thinking about it and feeling busy in my head. And I also feel like I'm making more money and having more time off for other things, which feels a bit magical, because I'm like, how's that possible? You know,
it's difficult to get people who hasn't really made that shift yet to really believe in it when you say it, because you do have more time, you do have you have greater people, greater connections, and you make more money and you have more time, and you're like, if someone would have told me this a while ago, it would have been difficult for me to believe it. I had mentors who told me that shift is possible, but you don't really get it until you make that shift yourself. Of course, the money piece, I've made way more money also. So the money piece is huge also. And I don't think we should be afraid of saying that or talking about that, because the money piece is huge, because we have a business. The purpose with a business is to make money. Otherwise,
and imagine what we can do with that money, right? It means we can take better care of ourselves. We can show up more for the people around us. I feel like I can be more generous with my clients when I make more money. I can support causes. Like it feels like that's like what money offers us is a really important piece. And I mean, I don't think money is ever going to be like the one thing that drives me, but it's such an amazing and really important aspect, because when I look at, and that was one thing that I found hard before growing my business, was that if I looked at how not having enough money was holding me back and in what areas, and what I could do if I had made more money, I was like, wow, I need to make more money, because I want to do things, and I want to do things because I love them and it feels good, not because I have to make money. Because that's also another thing. If money is like super tight, we keep doing things quickly, maybe not as well as we like, maybe not always choosing the right things, because money is, well, we forget about money, right?
And you do it out of need. And when you do it out of need and not alignment, you will call in more people that are not your people. You will get burned out. You might not be long lasting. It's like when you do it out of need, and I get it, sometimes we really do need money. So it's not that I'm saying need is not going to happen, but the energy of need will be a huge thing that will get in your way. So Yeah, and when we have money as the sole purpose for doing things, it's not it's not going to make it long lasting either. So having, like you said, money as the only sole purpose, you can get far, you can make loads of money if money is your only purpose. But the question is, how will you feel along the way? How will your clients feel? How will you show up? And how long will you last?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I think our people, money is not their number one priority, but they do need money in order to create the greatness they're here to create and to contribute in a bigger way. And I feel like now more than ever, we as women and business owners, we need to make more money so that we can have a greater impact and have more of our say in things, and to
So we can be a
create better,
voice.
like good change for everyone, right?
Yeah, definitely. We need more of that. Yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah. So I also wanted to mention that amazing Leila is also going to be one of the guest teachers in my next level program. And I'm so excited because
I
we've
love teaching your programs
so many times in the past, and it's always like effortless and amazing. And our people seem to vibe with us. So it's really awesome. So I'm really grateful for that. And so Leila's going to talk about attracting your soul clients, because that's such an important piece and something that people sometimes struggle with. I know sometimes my clients struggle with that, and you have such a great way of sharing how you do that to really call in the right people who are super ready and eager to work with you, who are happy to pay you what you ask, and who are just going to use whatever you share and just use it in the best possible way for them and for their clients in the world. So so if you want to know more about the program, we start on September 30th, and I'm leaving a link below. If you have any questions, let me know. And I highly recommend that you go follow Leila on Instagram, on Facebook, and check her out, because I think you're working on a business. I've seen you sharing a business program. I don't know if it's
it's not open for enrollment yet. I have an ongoing group right now. That's what I should say. So we are in week 4, and it's an 8-week with a bonus week. So it's a 9-week program. I call it Business Essentials. Right now it's in Swedish, because I have found that you and I, every time we have taken, put ourselves in a position to take the leap to the next level, you and I, we have always kind of gotten help and inspiration and motivation and all the knowledge and tools from teachers outside of Sweden, right? From Americans, from people in Australia, from people everywhere. And so I felt, when I came to a point where I wanted to share that all the knowledge that I've accumulated over the years, I decided to do it in Swedish, because I had so many people, clients and people, coming to me asking questions about these things. And I feel that we don't have enough teachers like teaching this kind of business structure in Sweden. So I decided to do it in Swedish. I'm going to do an English version too, but it's called Business Essentials. And I'm going to open later this year. I'm going to open it for enrollment again. But right now we are in week 4 with the group I'm currently working with in that program. So
so exciting. And I think it's so great to do that, to share that knowledge. I'm doing the next level program. I'm also offering it in French again this year, and it's the same. Like, I feel like there's so many people wanting this knowledge, but they can't always find it, or they can't find it in their language. So it's great that we're able to share that, because I feel like I was at I had a coffee with a friend of my mom's last week, fika, for the Swedes here watching us. And so she's super intuitive and like an artist, and he's like a musician. And we get started talking about business and entrepreneurship. And I was like, gone, like how it is when you start sharing how it's possible to market with soul and intention. And it's like, and I could see their eyes lighting up, because that's what I experienced the first time someone told me that, you can be a business owner and do things in a really loving and respectful
Yeah.
and authentic way, and
Yeah.
it works. I mean,
Yeah.
it takes time to build a thriving business, but it's not rocket science. It's not like we need a skill that we can't possibly learn. I mean, it's
Exactly.
possible,
Exactly.
and there are all
Yeah.
these amazing tools and
Yeah.
communities
Yeah.
and people. Because
Yeah.
just like you, that's how I first started, because I met people online, and
Yeah.
they shared how they were doing business, and I watched them, how they showed up,
Yeah.
and they were just the most amazing people doing things in
Yeah.
such a genuine way. And I was like, wow, if they do that, that means
Yeah.
I could maybe do that
Exactly.
too, and I
Exactly.
could do
Yeah.
it if it works
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah. And it's all about not being afraid of taking up space with your business. And I think that we have cultural differences that make it, maybe here in Sweden we're a bit more timid when it comes to take up space with our business, and so we're not used to allowing ourselves to actually want to take up space with our business. So I think that I want to be a voice for making that shift, and yeah, creating space for everyone to just, if they want to do business, do it the way you want to do it, and don't hold back, because business is not ugly, money is not ugly, nothing is ugly. It's only what we make it. It's only what our stories make it and what we make it. So if we can shift those stories around it, then anything is possible.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I feel like all these incredible women with such amazing talents, and look, for anyone watching us, like, you can do this. If your soul is calling you to step up and to lead and to put your beautiful dreams into material form in some way, do it. You know, find your people, find the right mentors, the right programs, and just make it happen, because it's like none of us have it figured out from the beginning. We just take one step that leads to another step, and I think that we've all been through a lot of stuff, difficult things in our lives, and we have so much experience, so much wisdom, so much resilience, so many qualities that whatever business throws at us, we can do it, right?
And it's like you said, it's not, I just really want to mention this, because it's like you said, it's not rocket science. When I first stepped into the spiritual community, the yoga community, as someone wanting to do business, I kind of hit a wall, and the wall is, oh, but everyone is already doing it, or why should I, because I don't, the market is saturated, everyone is already doing it, I don't know how to do it, and I don't know, it's ugly to make money. All kinds of stories was like in this community, and I just want to say that it's, with these simple tools, you just have to have some tools and some mindset shifts around that, then everyone can do it. And over the years, as I've been in the spiritual community and the yoga community, I've seen so many women having to give up because they couldn't make it happen, and that breaks my heart. That really breaks my heart. From the start, I've seen so many women really giving it all they got. They've like put money into it, all their relationships are supporting them, and they've really put everything into it that they can, and after a year or so, they just have to let it go because they can't make it happen. And they feel shame because so many people supported them. They feel shame because they lost all the money they put into it. And I'm like, no, it doesn't have to be like that. You just have to know a few. If we are not afraid of doing business, like, that's why I always talk about the Americans, because they're not afraid of doing business. So if you learn from them, if you learn a few, you don't have to take everything they say, but a few things, learn a few things from them, a few tools and a few tricks and a few mindset shifts, and make it yours, make it work in your life, in your community, in your culture. Then you don't have to give up. It doesn't have to be that way. So I really feel strongly about this. So I just wanted to put that out there too.
Yeah, thank you so much, Leila. And it's so important. And I feel exactly the same way, because there's just, we have so many opportunities now to receive knowledge, to sign up for things that we didn't have access to before. And I mean, yeah, it's definitely not rocket science. And there are just a few things now that I've seen so many people make it as well in business. It's just, I'm like, you really have to want to do it, and then take what works for you and then make it your own and put your own kind of energy into it. And it's just amazing. I feel like it's like a dream life. I mean, of course, there's a lot of difficult stuff to move through and tons of fears, but like the growth that comes from this, not just business growth, but like in life, I feel like it's like creating the kind of dream world that we want to have, where we don't have to give up on anything. We don't have to sacrifice anything important. And it just helps us to be even more who we are. Whenever I say what I do, I'm like, wow, I can't believe I get to do this and that this is the job, because I didn't know that this was a job.
I know, right? I know. I feel you. Yeah.
So thank you so much to you, beautiful Leila, and thanks to everyone watching us. Do get in touch if you want to explore more what we're up to. And thank you so much for joining us, and talk to you again soon.
Talk to you soon again. Yay. Bye, everyone. Bye.